What is going on, everyone? Tim from Tierfon Orbital. So tonight I would like to quickly go over an install commission that I completed recently on a low ground from SP Sabers. I've done an install or two on this particular hilt before in the past, but this install is a little different in that the customer requested some metal pieces, a crystal chamber. I don't know why I can't talk tonight. A crystal chamber and a rotating plasma gate around the crystal chamber, right? So this is a full custom chassis. I don't want to call this a metal master or a master chassis. I call them a hybrid chassis because it's part 3D printed material and part metal, right? So I do want to come into Fusion and talk a little bit about the chassis itself and the parts that were designed for it. And then obviously we will come up top and do a quick demo, and then we will be on our way. All right, so let's come into Fusion. All right, so here is the chassis that I designed for this hilt, right? The low ground from SP Sabers is a little bit different in that both the grip and the emitter section unthread from the middle control box waist section of the hilt, right? So in the chassis, I do have two tactile buttons. There is a machined piece of aluminum that it sticks down into this section of the chassis, and that makes a contact into both of those switches. So essentially, you use the brass button on the hilt as your switches, okay? Bottom part of the chassis, I did my regular greebly work along both sides. This is a Proffie build, so the Proffie does slide up underneath this lip and lives in this section. Around back is our battery tray. Let me try and navigate this without making people sick. So here's the battery tray. This is a different battery orientation than I usually do. Okay, so spring side is up towards the emitter in this build. We'll go over that in a second when we do a demo. Fully enclosed 28mm speaker. This is from Smugglers Outpost. Let's talk about the upper section. Okay, so I designed a crystal chamber upper section that also has a spinning plasma gate. So this part was printed in copper, and these two were printed in brass, right? Plenty of room to play around with up here. I think the inside of this hilt is like 30 or 32 millimeters. There's a lot of room on the inside. So that's why we get away with a fully enclosed speaker, and I was able to get some nice thick brass pieces. All of these brass pieces are held in place with some neodymium magnets. Okay, and that's it, right? Nice and simple, probably a little bit of overkill, but hey, I'm really happy with how this came out, and luckily the client is also happy, okay? Emitter is up top here. Everything gets wired up. This entire section gets epoxied into place in the bottom part of the chassis, right? And that's it. Let's talk about this hilt. Let's come up top. All right, so here it is. This is the low ground from SP Sabers. This is a very, very nice hilt. I've talked about this hilt at length in previous videos. It is a stainless steel, full body stainless steel hilt that has been polished, really, really highly polished. In fact, I was actually very surprised that SP Sabers and Sean and company over there was able to get such a high polish on stainless steel. It looks great, right? So entire hilt is modular, like I said. So let's talk about how to use this guy. To get at your battery tray, you want to unscrew the grip. So here's our Proffie. I did do a pass of pewter rub and buff on this. So once you get your grip off, spring side is your negative, but spring side in this build is up towards the emitter. So slide your battery in.
And who might you be?
So this was already on. If you don't hear an audible cue, there is a kill switch down in here. Hit that kill switch. And then you can put your grip on. And here, the emitter also unscrews, the emitter section. Here is the crystal chamber. Oops. Here is the crystal chamber section. So both of these parts are held in with magnets. I chose to keep the plasma gate polished. I did not weather the plasma gate that rotates around that crystal, but the client did request that we weather up the brass a little bit, right? Client also did request that the emitter be wired up independently so it can have its own animation. So to the customer, this is its own blade in the config. We also have a crystal that is its own blade, and that's it, right? So once you get your battery in, you're ready to go. Let's put a blade in it. Okay, so something I also really like about this hilt is Okay, so something else I really like about this hilt is it is a 7/8 inch blade holder. So this brown button in the front, brown, bronze, this serves as your blade retention. So you want to unscrew that a little bit, rest your blade on those PCB pins and tighten that greebly down, and you're ready to go. So there is also behind this red button, right? If you take this red button off, there is also a set screw in here that can serve as your blade retention as well if you're not comfortable with just using that copper or bronze front section, right? So this brass button serves as your switches. Toggle it up.
At last we will have revenge.
For aux and down for main. Let's see what else I put on there. To my surprise, it's actually really, really nice feeling hilt in hand, right? So Graflexes are never comfortable to hold on the grip. They're just not, right? But holding this in the middle of the grip, or in the middle of the hilt, I like. One more.
Lord Vader.
All right, so that's it. Just a quick rundown on the low ground from SP Sabers. I always like doing metal hybrid chassis like this. This is something that I want to really move more into this year and offer it as an option with installs, right? So to the customer, thank you very much for your patience. To the viewers, if anyone has any questions about this particular install, please do not be a stranger. And with that being said, may the force be with you always. Have a good one, everybody.